Mandy Sellers was born with an extremely rare condition, which means her legs and feet won't stop growing.
My left leg has continued to grow at a rapid pace. It's been harder and harder to actually walk.
Mandy is determined to find out why her huge legs keep on expanding.
Having these tests done will hopefully shed a bit of light on exactly what the condition is and what my body is actually doing.
But first, Mandy has to overcome her biggest ever challenge. After a life-threatening infection, she has had to have one of her giant legs amputated.
It came down to it's either me or the leg.
The emergency operation saved her life, but now she has to learn to live with just one leg.
There's something wrong, there's something not right. Oh, come on.
And an amputated stump that won't stop growing.
It is a worry to me where my leg will end up if that continues to grow.
Will Mandy be able to regain her independence by learning to walk again?
I am prepared for it, and now I am going to strive forward and do whatever I can to actually walk again. That's the main goal, to actually walk again.
Accrington in Lancashire is home to a remarkable woman, 36-year-old Mandy Sellers. She was born with a condition so rare that even doctors don't know why her giant legs won't stop growing.
We are not aware of having seen anybody with quite that particular combination of problems. She is unique.
Despite having very large legs, Mandy has always lived alone, without the help of carers.
It does take me longer to maybe achieve something or to be able to do something, but I won't let that stop me from actually living or doing what I want to do.
When you see Mandy, you just think you've got no excuses for not enjoying your life, because even though she has a lot of difficulties, she gets on with things and she lives her life to the fullest.
She's a survivor, because that is the name of the game. You've got to survive. And yeah, she's actually doing it. I hope she carries on doing it and all that, you know.
I do tend to think now I was given this condition because somebody somewhere thought she can cope with that. Yeah, I have my ups and down days, and I think, oh, you know, why does it have to be so difficult just to get on the bed? You know, but that's just how it is, and it won't always be that way.
When Mandy was born in 1975 with deformed feet and legs twice the size of a normal baby, medical staff were bewildered.
They didn't actually let my mum see me for about 2 weeks, I think it was. The doctors weren't sure what it was, and the only thing they actually said to my family was that they didn't expect me to live beyond 2 weeks.
Doctors said that we don't think there's much hope for her.
But Mandy defied the doctors' expectations.
From what I remember, when I was at school, my condition didn't really hamper anything that I ever did. That I could run around and I could play football, which I loved doing.
She used to ride her bike. She did everything what other children were doing around here, and she had friends. Actually, like a normal childhood.
As Mandy reached adulthood, her legs continued to grow, becoming even more disproportionate to the size of her upper body and making it increasingly difficult for her to walk.
The last 2 years, my mobility actually got worse and worse in terms that it was harder and harder to actually lift the leg up and throw it through to actually walk.
This is very different.
Doctors have never been able to diagnose Mandy's condition, but her symptoms most closely resemble Proteus syndrome.
In Proteus syndrome, the extraordinary abnormality is that some parts of the body carry on growing inappropriately and not respecting the requirements of the person.
The most famous sufferer of this condition was the Elephant Man, Joseph Merrick.
Well, it's extraordinarily rare, and that should be emphasised. There's perhaps 100 or 200 cases ever described, and even among those, some of the diagnoses aren't quite secure.
But Mandy doesn't have all the typical symptoms of Proteus syndrome. Her feet are smooth, But in classic Proteus, deep grooves can be seen. There is no cure for Proteus syndrome or Mandy's condition.
My mum said when I was about 7, the doctors had said to my mum and dad that they could give me the option of amputating both my legs, but they said that unlikely that I would ever come through the operation.
I mean, he said, well, Mandy might die. I said, well, there's your answer then. I said, you just don't do it.
Even now she is an adult, removing both of Mandy's growing legs remains very dangerous. A double amputation at the hip could cause massive blood loss and leave Mandy unable to walk or even sit up without help.
Throughout the different years in my life, every doctor that I've seen has always kind of been wary and said there is quite a risk in actually having amputation.
But at the age of 35, Mandy suddenly had no choice but to face surgery because doctors discovered one of her giant legs was killing her.
Mandy's problem was a deep ulcer in her foot that had failed to heal. This ulcer was infected.
The infection in Mandy's left leg was poisoning her blood, and she needed an emergency amputation.
I tried to hold myself together, but I broke down. I had to go out of the room because I looked and I thought, Mandy's dying.
It was clear that, you know, the time had come that really something needed to be done.
I didn't have any options. I couldn't go on living with the leg I had simply because it would kill me. It came down to it's either me or the leg.
Doctors decided to amputate Mandy's left leg above the knee.
There was a higher than usual element of risk compared to, say, a standard amputation.
All too aware of the risks, and having been repeatedly told she was unlikely to survive amputation, Mandy prepared herself for the worst.
It was one of the most terrifying things I have ever had to go through. I knew that there was no turning back, even though I didn't want to be lying on the operating table. I didn't want to say goodbye to my family and friends and think, is that the last time I'm going to see them?
And I just remember the wheeling away, and she was obviously scared, and you could see her kind of biting her lip, trying not to cry because she didn't want us to see her crying. I was there with her parents.
And you can just imagine all the things going around in my head, just thinking, am I going to survive? Am I going to come through? If I am I going to be able to manage? What am I going to look like? You know, and if I don't come through, what will happen? Will my mum and dad be all right? You know, will Sue be all right? And I can't do it. I'm sorry.
But Mandy had no option. The life-saving emergency operation to amputate her left leg was groundbreaking and complex.
It took 2 surgeons to actually hold the limb in any one position to allow the 3rd surgeon access to do the operation. Inside, it was clear that the anatomy was very different. The arteries and veins, which were much, much larger than usual. It was technically the most difficult amputation I've ever done.
After 5.5 grueling hours, Mandy woke up.
I heard voices and I thought, I recognised those voices, and it was my mum and dad and Sue. And I just shouted at the top of my voice going, I did it, I did it. Then I kind of knew, you know, that I'd actually survived it.
All credit to them. They actually saved Mandy's life because Mandy was dying. I mean, there's no ifing but arguing about it.
The operation was a success. But will Mandy ever be able to regain her independence?
I know you're trying to help, but I need to learn to do it myself, otherwise I'm never going to get anywhere, am I?
Mandy Sellers' unique condition means her enormous legs just won't stop growing. At the age of 35, a life-threatening infection forced Mandy to have her left leg amputated above the knee.
When they were doing the actual operation, the surgeon told me that they didn't actually realise the weight of my leg, so they actually had to draft in some other surgeons to actually lift the leg up while he cut off the underneath of it. I'm just glad I wasn't awake to see it.
After 4 months in hospital, it's time for Mandy to adjust to her new life with one leg and try to regain her freedom. Today, with the help of her best friend Sue, Mandy is being fitted for a wheelchair.
I'm hoping to get a wheelchair, and one that I can actually push myself around in, which is something I've never ever tried before, and I don't know if I have the upper body strength to actually do it. Until I actually get a wheelchair, there's no way I can actually go home at all.
No one knows whether Mandy will fit into the extra-large wheelchair.
Okay, you got it? Now, just straighten up if you can.
Well, I can't see behind me, so I don't know what you mean straighten up. What? How?
You just need to sit back, but your right leg's kind of in your way.
It's here.
You can sit down if that leg isn't going
Well,
to stop.
somebody's going to need to guide me because I really can't see.
Straight back in this one, you're straight back. Just a bit further back if you can.
Oh, I can't. Sorry, I can't see it. I'm worried about missing it.
But you won't miss it, it's right
No, it's
behind
right behind you, can't
If
miss
you just come straight back as you are now, you'll come straight back into it. You alright?
You okay? Your leg, yeah?
Yeah, please. Okay, that's got it.
Right.
Yeah, I'm better, thanks.
Mandy needs to be able to move her 18-stone weight around in this large wheelchair before she can go home.
Of course I can. It's a build my muscles up, won't it? 8 marathon next year.
How does it feel to actually be able to propel yourself? Because you've not done that before, have you?
No, it's nice to have a bit of freedom, I think, just to kind of move around on my own without relying on anybody else to do it. It's hard work even with my muscles, I can feel it. But yeah, it's good. I can enjoy myself all day now, I've been wheeling around. I'm impressed.
It's 5 months since Mandy's groundbreaking surgery, and finally, she's well enough to go home.
It is a massive day for me today. I mean, of course, I'm looking forward to it, but it's a scary prospect, it really is.
All right, hold on. Okay. 1, 2, 3.
Mandy is determined to drive herself and her friend Sue home, despite the extra difficulties she now faces because of having only one leg.
Yeah. Yeah. Oh, like, we're going to have to just try and shove me the best we can.
Right, 1, 2, 3.
That's it.
Oh,
that's it, we're getting there.
That's better.
Right, that's got it.
Is that all right?
Mandy is fiercely independent and drives her own specially adapted car.
One of the things I have is what they call a steering ball, and that allows me just to get the steering wheel round so I can go around roundabouts. It also has an extended steering column. How I drive, it's like using a joystick, so that means I pull it towards me to accelerate and push it back towards the windscreen to actually brake. Yeah, I enjoy driving. It's certainly a sense of freedom.
This is the first time Mandy has been home since losing one of her legs.
Quick.
You're all right.
You're all right.
She knows moving her new wheelchair around her small flat will be tricky.
We've always let Mandy do whatever she wanted to do, whatever she were able to do.
Oh, dear.
You've got to experience life for yourself, and you've got to have a try at doing it.
Right, can somebody come and please take these foot plates off? Because I'm getting nowhere fast with it on. I think it's just best to take it off and ride around without it on.
It's hard to watch her. I don't like having to watch her struggle, but I had to because if I'm not there, she's got to be able to do that.
I know you're trying to help, but I need to learn to do it myself, otherwise I'm never going to get anywhere, am I? There's something wrong. There's something not right.
Mandy wants to continue to live at home on her own, so she must learn to get around her flat without help.
I'm trying to kind of count to 10, not swear, keep my calm, and do what I need to do. Oh, come on. I know there will be days or there will be moments when I do get frustrated with myself, do lose my temper a little bit with myself, but I think that's to be expected. I'm too stubborn and too independent, and I want to be able to progress. It makes you happy, it makes you feel good inside if you can achieve something every single day. And that's what I hope to do. Whether it's a success or not, I don't know, but at least I'm trying. You know, that is an important part of life, really, to keep on trying.
Since she was young, Mandy's mother, June, has made her trousers and socks to fit her unique body shape.
She could wear children's socks up to being a teenager, and then had to start making socks for her. The trousers since she was about 5-year-old. Made my own pattern and started making them ever since.
Now that Mandy's left leg has been amputated, June is altering all her trousers.
With Mandy before, having her left leg 4 inches longer than the right one, the trousers had to be made accordingly. So now I'm having to shorten the left leg by 4 inches and also widen the legs as well.
This is one thing Mandy relies on her mum to do for her.
Yeah, it feels good. Yeah, just a bit of something to do for her, you know, to keep her on the move or whatever you want to call it.
It's 4 weeks since Mandy came home from hospital, and she's still finding it difficult to get around her flat.
Simple things like just getting up in the morning, having a shower, getting dressed and getting some breakfast, that actually takes me about an hour and a half to actually do that. But the time frame doesn't actually matter to me. The fact that I'm actually able to do it and do it when I want and how I want is actually very, very important.
She's still struggling to get around the flat, and it's quite frustrating for her because she's banging her foot. You know, she's trying to turn corners, she's hitting the door frame, and then she's damaged it and she's got quite upset about it. It's just frustrating.
It's only been just over a month since I actually came out of hospital, but I'm now doing everything for myself. Even things simple as doing the washing and putting it into the dryer to dry it, that to me is so important because it just gives me a sense of normality. It's like having that normality back that I had before I went into hospital to have my leg amputated.
Even with wider than average doors, getting from room to room in her extra-large wheelchair is a challenge.
It can be frustrating, but these are all kind of changes that I've had to make to my life. I want to stay where I am. I like living here, so hopefully that is the way it's going to stay.
It's taken a few weeks, but Mandy can now dress herself and is regaining a small part of her old mobility around the flat. But outside her home is a different matter. One thing Mandy still can't do on her own is get into her car.
Getting into the car with one leg, I can't explain how difficult that is and how painful it is. I've got to kind of get myself from the wheelchair, stand up and hold on to the door, and then somehow hope that when I bend down that my bottom actually kind of reaches the seat. Yeah. And I can't do this on my own. I mean, more often than not, it's my friend Sue that helps me. That's it. Yeah.
She does have to put quite a lot of weight on me at the moment to get in the car. That's something she really wants to be able to do on her own, because at the moment she's just in her flat all week until somebody's there at the weekend to help her.
Today, Mandy has an appointment to have a prosthetic leg made.
I think a false leg would make a huge difference to my life. That would give me such more independence than I've already got. I can't explain really how important it is.
The prosthetics team have never seen anyone like Mandy before. She weighs over 18 stone, so a prosthesis will need to be incredibly strong. The artificial limb will also need to be extraordinarily large, just under 1 metre in circumference. And it needs to have flexibility built in, as Mandy's leg continues to grow and change shape.
I'm just going to use the tape measure, and we're just going to take some measures of her. Okay.
We're probably going to look at a leather corset. It's got eyelets on the front and lacing. It means because it can be adjustable for her, and we can actually tighten it up if she reduces in size, or it can be actually loosened off if she does actually increase.
Okay, we're going to raise that up. We're going to roll you a little bit so
okay.
Like this.
The first stage is to make a plaster cast of Mandy's leg.
Mandy's case is quite unique and obviously the size of her residual limb. We've obviously had to consider that when we're making a prosthetic limb.
Pass it to me, I've got it.
Oh, God, that's cold.
The principles are all the same of socket design and technology, so it was just that on a much larger scale, really.
I think this is going to be my most challenging task, really, using a false leg which is kind of foreign to the body, really.
You feel this warming up now, yeah?
But it's a challenge I'm willing to face, and I'm going to face it head on, and hopefully in a few months' time maybe that I will be actually walking on the false leg and gaining my independence back.
The team will now use the plaster cast to create an enormous leather socket for Mandy's thigh to fit into. This will form the basis of her new artificial leg.
Sorry. I think I'm coming with you there.
That's it.
Oh, dear.
Well done, you.
Yeah, fantastic.
I didn't realise how big it is, because obviously looking down at it myself doesn't look too big, but looking at it in a form like that, it just makes you realise how big it actually is. So they've got some work to do.
Now all Mandy can do is hope that her ever-expanding limb will not stop her from wearing the new false leg.
Just over the last 4 weeks, I think the stump has changed in size. So if that continues to happen, it is a worry to me where my leg will end up. Hey, Jordan.
Will a trip to meet 16-year-old Jordan, who suffers from a similar condition and already uses 2 false legs, offer hope to Mandy?
So it looks like you've got a tan.
Mandy Sellers from Lancashire was born with a rare condition that means her legs and feet won't stop growing.
In some ways, people are always going to remember me, whether they speak to me or not, because obviously I do stand out in the crowd, and that's not a bad thing.
Mandy has driven 200 miles to Cambridge to take part in cutting-edge medical research to find out more about her unique condition.
The skin looks completely normal, is that right?
Yeah, the skin's always been very, very good. Obviously,
Doctors don't understand why the 36-year-old seems to store all her fat below the waist, or the effect this could be having on her body as a whole. Since she had her left leg amputated above the knee, her stump has continued to grow, and no one knows why.
I'm really kind of interested to know more about my condition, because nobody has ever really been able to answer any questions. I think also, more importantly in the moment, is after having the amputation, really has that had any kind of maybe positive or negative effect on my body?
We want to find out if actually your fat in the lower part of your body, in the legs, is sucking up energy and having a very harmful effect on the rest of the body, then potentially removing that might do you quite a lot of good. However, if actually you are entirely relying on the fat in your legs to safely store energy, then paradoxically taking some of it away could cause you some metabolic harm.
Having these tests done will hopefully shed a bit of light on exactly what the condition is and what my body is actually doing. So it really is worth going through all these different things, no matter how unpleasant they might actually seem at the time.
How are you?
I'm all right. I'll be okay.
Okay.
If you can drink that within 5 minutes, that would be great.
After 3 days of exhaustive tests, Mandy will have to wait 3 months for the preliminary results.
Any kind of information that I could be given has got to be so much better than where I stand now with it, because now I just don't know anything. I'm living day to day and waiting to see what life throws at me.
Hi, Mandy, it's only us.
Hello.
Back home in Accrington, Mandy's parents have popped in to drop off her altered trousers.
Yeah, you all right? How you doing?
All right, yeah. Doing all right.
Yep.
Hello. Oh, we're having a kiss as well. Oh, there we go. We've got lots of goodies here today. Oh, what?
Well, that's your...
Oh, the washing. I wondered what it was. I was going to say they're not all trousers.
Yeah, that's one pair that I've done.
All right.
Yeah.
So is it bigger on both legs then?
Yeah, because you said you wanted your right one because the muscle's a bit bigger.
Yeah. That should do, shouldn't it? Yeah. Fingers crossed. I'm not trying them on now.
Right, so.
I know I have, a good family who will always support me, believe in me and always push me, and love me. So if you've got that support network, I believe there's nothing you can't really achieve in life.
Mandy takes pride in her appearance. But since the amputation, she's not able to get to her local beauty salon. So today, her manicurist and friend Jenny is coming to do her nails at home.
Well, I can tell you've not had a manicure in a while, Mandy. These cuticles are really long.
I know, I'm absolutely terrible. I should smarten myself up a bit.
Well, as soon as you're up and walking, there's no reason why you can't get back to the shop.
That is true. See, I've had my orders now.
So how are you then?
Well, a lot better than I was just before Christmas.
Yeah.
Because obviously I've had my leg off.
Yeah. So how do you feel without it?
I feel loads better. I mean, don't have any infections whatsoever now. I feel fantastic. I feel really, really good. So in that respect, it was worth it for that.
Yeah. Right. So we're up to painting stage now.
Ooh.
What, do you want a dark one?
Let's go with the dark one.
There's two dark ones there. One's plum, one's a bit more reddy bronze.
I think I've got blue on.
See, there's me, bringing all the girly colours. So your new leg then, is it going to look like a foot?
With like toenails and things like that? Yeah. I don't think so, as far as I'm aware. I don't know, but...
So we can paint them, maybe? Could be painting your toenails for you.
I know. At least I wouldn't have to reach down. I can just stick it off and hold it up and you paint it.
Mandy is hoping that her unique prosthetic leg will enable her to walk again.
I am prepared for it, and now I am going to strive forward and do whatever I can to actually walk again. That's the main goal, to actually walk again.
But first, all the muscles in Mandy's upper body need to be strengthened so they can support her weight.
Losing a leg, it changes everything, really. This is a totally different situation than anything I've ever come across in my life. And so it's important to me to kind of keep the strength physically, but also keep the strength mentally as well.
6 months after the operation, Mandy's left thigh hasn't stopped growing. Before she can try to walk on her prosthetic, Mandy's surgeon has to check her stump is fully healed.
Hello, Mandy.
Hiya, nice to see you again.
Nice to see you too.
Yeah.
How have you been doing? 6 months now since your surgery?
That
just
long?
Over 6 months.
Yeah, I'm doing very, very well. I feel loads better in myself.
Do you still feel your toes, your foot?
I do. I mean, the thing I found strange is the fact that I couldn't feel them when I had them, when I had my toes and the foot. But now I feel it more so now. But it's quite nice. It's not pain.
Good.
It's just like a sensation. And the worst thing is when I get an itch. I just can't scratch it because it's not there.
Do you mind if I have a look?
Not at all.
See how the surgery has done and whether the wound has healed. Just want to, obviously we need some help to lift this up. If we have a look at it, Norma's there to help me too. We'll just have a look and see. There we go.
There we go.
Oh, that skin grafted area is really taken very well indeed. And there's no sensitive area at the bottom end here?
Where the skin graft is, that is quite sensitive. It's quite a strange feeling.
I'm just struck by how resilient she is, and I think that's Mandy all the way through. I think she's always been resilient, and that attitude did not change during her recovery. So she recovered very quickly, far more quickly than I actually anticipated. That looks superb now. That's a mature scar. So I don't see that causing any problems. And that's obviously where the skin graft was taken. That's obviously healing too. It'll take a little while. Are there any questions you want to ask me?
I don't think so at this point in time, just that I think next time, hopefully, I'll be walking in to actually see you.
I'd be delighted to see that. I wish you all the best.
Thank you very much for everything.
Right.
Nice to see you again. I might need to move this right foot, actually. Okay. I'd help you, but I'm slipping off the seat.
Mandy's leg has healed enough to use the new prosthetic as planned. But she's worried it may not fit because her left thigh continues to both grow and change shape.
Hiya.
Hi, Mandy.
Hello.
6 weeks after the cast for Mandy's prosthesis was made, she's about to find out whether her new false leg will fit.
This is it?
This is it, yeah.
This is your leather socket.
Right.
Okay. The idea is we'll have a larger gap here.
Okay.
And it'll be adjustable via some eyelet. There's eyelets in there, some lace.
Right.
So if you can tighten it all up so it can conform to your body.
I think I have gone up a little bit in certain areas.
Okay. Well, let's check that then, and we'll see where we are.
Right.
So that's 91.
So you think you might have gone up in volume, do you?
I do. I can tell a little bit in certain areas.
Yeah.
I've gone up.
96.
I think both the doctors and myself are very concerned about the actual change in the size of my stump. I mean, I know personally, just over the last 4 weeks, I think since I've actually been here last, that the stump has changed in size. So if that continues to happen over the next 4 weeks, and so on, you know, it is a worry to me where my leg will end up.
Mandy's left thigh has increased in circumference by 4 centimetres in less than 6 weeks.
I just saw it and I just thought, it's not going to fit. Simply because I knew I'd grown in certain parts of this stump. I just thought, oh, please let my look, you know, be good for once.
OK, Mandy, ready?
Yeah.
Like that. There you go.
Are you OK, Mandy?
Yeah, absolutely fine.
Right, let's get some... We're going to put some straps around this and tighten it up.
OK.
The socket does fit, so the team can go ahead and make Mandy's prosthetic leg, giving her hope for the future.
I know I'm never going to run around playing soccer again, you know, it's just not going to happen, but having 2 legs, you know, it's just going to make life so much easier. And that's something that I really, really can't wait to see if it happens, when it happens. Not if, when. So is this my actual foot that I'm going to be using?
Yes, it's you.
So does that get covered in anything, or will it stay looking like that?
Yeah, we'll have it all covered over for you.
Right. Does it look like a normal foot? I mean, does it have like little toes on and things like that, or not?
Not this one.
Not
that one,
yeah.
no. I mean, I can't paint my toenails.
Unsure of how she will cope with her new prosthetic leg, Mandy is off to meet someone who may be able to give her some advice.
I'm going to go and meet Jordan Whitewood-Neal, who's a young man who had both his legs amputated, and now he's actually walking with 2 false legs. So I'm really interested and excited to meet him.
16-year-old Jordan is one of only 100 people in history to have been diagnosed with Proteus syndrome, the condition Mandy is believed to have.
Hey, Jordan. Right, let me turn around and back myself up.
It has affected his legs, hands and neck in a different way to Mandy. After having one leg amputated, Jordan has recently had his other leg removed and now is learning to walk with 2 prosthetics.
I think I decided to have my leg off because it was getting too much, really. I mean, the pain was quite bad. I was having medicine every day, getting hard to walk, just couldn't get as many places, couldn't have a small wheelchair, had trouble getting around the school and everything.
Yeah.
And now it's a lot easier, really. I can buy normal jeans, shoes, get around the school easier.
So what do your legs actually look like? They look like normal legs?
They look like real, like proper legs.
Right.
So they've got like a special foam on, then a foam and then sort of like a stocking over the top.
Right. This stump keeps changing shape. So do you think that yours are going to change shape or grow more? Or
they just get smaller, actually, I think.
Get smaller, right?
Yeah. I mean, they swell up at first. When you first have the operation, I think they get smaller as far as you go along.
Right.
That was one of my main fears, really, having that happen. But, no, they've been fine, actually.
Jordan's success story gives Mandy encouragement in her own bid to walk on her new prosthetic leg.
It is nice to kind of talk to someone who does have a similar type of condition to myself. It seemed like he understood those kind of issues of being in pain, you know, and the positive side of actually having the leg off. Jordan, to me, is inspiring. He just seems a guy that just gets on with it.
Feeling positive about learning to walk again, Mandy is going shopping to buy her first ever regular-sized shoe to fit on her false leg.
I'm actually going to buy a pair of shoes. I've never ever been able to do that in 35 years.
The large boots Mandy has worn until now are made to measure and cost the NHS over £2,000 a pair.
She's quite excited about being able to go for the first time to a shoe shop and choose herself a new pair of shoes. She probably doesn't realise how many different types of shoes there are, so she might find it a little bit hard to choose. I think maybe you need something with a bit of a heel on it, so it's like got a heel like on your other foot, so you can, rather than something that's...
Yeah, I'm really, really looking forward to it. I just hope that I can find something that I like. I think something like that's really nice.
No, not really.
Many times in the past I've gone past shoe shops and thought, oh, that's nice. You know, if I had like average size feet, I'd like to wear that. I think that'd look good, that, you know, similar colour to that, isn't it? They get some of the funky ones.
Yes.
I think I'm going to go for these ones.
Yeah, in the size 8?
In the size 8, yeah. I can't believe I'm parting with all that money just for one shoe.
You have to ask if you get a discount for one.
Discount for one.
Mandy now owns her first 2 pairs of ordinary shoes, some boots and a pair of trainers.
Even though I've spent over £100, I'm still very happy. Well worth the money, I say. I look forward to wearing them at some point in the near future.
Will Mandy's optimism help her meet the biggest challenge of her life? To try and walk again?
Hopefully it will be the time that gives me the most independence that I've ever had in my life.
Despite being born with giant legs, 36-year-old Mandy Sellers has fought hard to live an independent life. Following the amputation of her left leg, she now hopes to learn to walk again. But before Mandy has a chance to try her new false leg, she's off to Cambridge University to get the results of the test she underwent 3 months ago.
Fingers crossed these tests will tell me whether the amputation I recently had was a good thing or maybe a not so good thing in terms of how the fat is distributed throughout my body. That will hopefully tell me a lot more about my condition, what's going on, and then maybe in the future that may, fingers crossed in my eyes, hopefully lead to something that will help maybe stop the growth, particularly in my left leg, which is the troublesome leg.
Overall, you can see that the top part of your body, where we can see that you're thin, you have about 5% body fat. That's as thin as, let's say, a young male triathlete. While in the legs, you have up to around 50 to 60% fat. Your legs are, if you like, greedy. They're stealing the nutrients which circulate in your body. So I see you as being a malnourished person in the top half and an overnourished person in the bottom half.
The consequences of me having this amputation on the left leg, do you think that would have made any difference to actually how my body's reacting to that, or any changes that could have happened?
Far from having a harmful effect on your metabolism, if anything, may have had a mildly beneficial effect on your metabolism, in the sense that from the studies that we've done, I would suggest that there was less tissue there to steal nutrients away from the top part of your body. So this absolutely isn't a reason to go and suggest further major surgery, but it's reassuring, I think, if that ever became a possibility in the future. I don't think you'd suffer any bad metabolic consequences from that. Now, just in the last week or so, we've received the biopsy tissue from your leg. And what we may be seeing there, actually, in a cell culture disc, is an example of what's been happening slowly and progressively during your life and your legs.
Early genetic results show the cells in the lower half of Mandy's body are growing uncontrollably.
What I think we're seeing there is actual evidence in the cells that they have lost a mechanism which stops them from growing at the right time. But we may be able to use this to give some clues as to medications which might help you in the future.
I think it's hard, isn't it? Because nobody's ever looked into it this in depth before, so it's kind of exciting to me. Even if nothing ever comes of it, just that little glimmer of hope that sometime in the future they could take something to stop it from growing, and that would be fantastic.
Dr. Semple and his team are going to continue to research and analyse Mandy's condition in the hope that one day they may be able to find a way of stopping her legs from continuing to grow.
I feel pretty kind of confident and happy with today's results and what the future may hold, so it's kind of a case of watch this space of what Mandy did next.
Finally, the day has come for Mandy to try to use her artificial leg for the first time.
I think today is quite a significant day. I mean, if my leg does actually fit and I am able to start having physio and start being able to use my leg more and more, it's going to mean a whole new chapter to my life. I think only if you have the will and determination and motivation to achieve in life, you can Dan will do it. You can. I think anybody can. We all have obstacles to overcome, but you've just got to keep saying, yes, I can do it.
Mandy's biggest fear is that her new prosthetic will not hold her weight.
Can you just take the foot plate so we can move over, please? I feel quite apprehensive about it today simply because if I'm standing up on both my feet, obviously the false one and the real one, I don't know if the false one's going to actually hold my 18-stone weight. You know, it probably will do, and I'm sure they've tested it, but it's just my own personal fear that as soon as I start weight-bearing, it'll suddenly start bending and I'll start slowly going down to one side.
So I've just got the same sock as last time, OK, so we're just going to pop this on.
Yeah.
To protect your skin a little bit.
It is the first step in like a long road ahead, really, so we'll just see how today goes, and then obviously I can judge from today how the next couple of days, weeks, months will pan out. Give it a good wiggle.
Give it a wiggle. Ready?
Yep.
Mandy is about to stand on her false leg for the first time.
The way I get up when I have to use a frame, I have to do a bit of rocking motion.
It's OK.
Yep. That's the only way I can kind of do it. Come on, Mandy, come on, come on. Oh, dear, come on. Get up, get up. Come on, you can do it, come on.
Right, well, you're up and you're in it. How does that feel?
Strange.
Yeah, I bet it does.
Well, I'm not used to having such a small foot. I think it's going to give way. I just think it's...
No. You know, don't you worry about that.
Not content with just standing, Mandy decides to try to walk.
So in your own time. I can help you guide it through a little bit. Well done.
Behind.
You've taken one step. I think that's pretty good going.
You can take two if you like.
Well, yeah, OK. We've got to get you back, don't forget.
Well, yeah.
Come over it, that's it. Well done.
Once she started, there was just no stopping her. It was just really great to see. You know, she stood up, got her balance, took one step, and then she's like, let's just keep going.
Well done.
If she can do something like that, and then she'll be able to experience life a lot better than what she's at the moment, and which is going to be good for her.
That's it. Basically, you're doing amazing.
I think the idea of actually learning to walk again, hopefully it will be the time that gives me the most independence that I've ever had in my life.
Despite it being her first attempt, Mandy manages more than 15 steps.
Done really well there. Very impressive. Yeah, did brilliant. So, good things ahead, I think.
You should be proud of yourself, you should.
See you going as well now. Oh, I just feel a bit emotional now, really. I don't really know why. I mean, I suppose it's a big thing, I don't know. Hard to say, I suppose. I don't know, I suppose in some ways I never thought that I would walk again. See?
Mandy has many months of grueling physiotherapy ahead of her to learn to walk again. But for today, she's exceeded everyone's expectations.
It is a little bit daunting knowing that there's such kind of a long road ahead and so many challenges to kind of overcome to be able to walk again. But, like I said, I do want my life back to full capacity. I want to be able to live the life that I want for myself. So to be able to do that, I have to be able to walk again.
I think a lot of people will find that very daunting, but we always say, if anyone can, Mandy can.
All in all, yes, I think Mandy Sellers is up for the challenge.
We're heading to one of the most iconic parts of the capital this week, but don't expect a shopping trip as we spend the evening with the Soho Blues. The new series kicks off tomorrow at 9. Up next, Ultimate Police Interceptors.